Hello and welcome to the pleated skirts sewing tutorial. This time I'll be sewing the skirts in a scale size. For this project you'll need your patterns, some fabric, I'm using this linen fabric, interfacing, a zipper, a button, a sewing machine, iron and your sewing tools. Start by marking your patterns on the fabric. Make sure to transfer the notches and darts. Cut your fabric. First, I'll be showing you how to make the skirt with a central pleat. Sew the front and back darts. Now make a zigzag stitch all the way around. I'm marking the seam allowance on the fabric to make the sewing easier. Match both sides of the opening right sides together. And sew up to this point where the seam allowance is. Press the seams open. Match the center notch of the pleat to the seam. Sew to hold the pleat in place. This is how it looks like. Do the same for the back. Now, with the right sides together, sew one of the sides of the skirt. Make sure the hip and hem notches match. On the other side, you'll need to install an invisible zipper. Since I'm working on scale, I'm not installing one, but to do this, I sew the part where the zipper should be with long stitches and then switch to normal length stitches. Then I undo the stitches of the zipper part. For the waist, place the pieces right sides together and sew. Press the seams open. On one of the pieces, add some interfacing. Sew the ends of the waist at 1 cm. Turn over and mark 1.5 cm from the edge on the ends. Match the 1.5 mark with one of the openings of the skirt where the zipper would be. Do the same with the other end. Pin and sew all around. Now fold 1 cm inwards and place the waist so as to cover the raw edge. Press and top stitch. For the hem, fold at 1 cm and then fold again. Press and sew. This is how the finished skirt looks like. It has a center pleat on the front and back. This is where you place the button and buttonhole. Now let's make the skirt with pleats on the sides. Zigzag or overlock all the sides of the openings. Sew straight up to this point where the seam allowance is. Press the seams. Match the notch to the seam. Sew across to hold the pleat in place. For the back, place the pieces right sides together. You can insert a normal zipper using the same method as before. Long stitch and then normal stitch. Press the seams open. Overlock the raw edges. Sew the pleats of the back the same as in the front. Undo the long stitches where the zipper would be. These are the front and back finished. Now place the front and back right sides together. Pin the sides and sew. For the waist, the process is the same as before, but for this skirt I cut the waist on the fold so as to skip sewing the two parts together. Fold and press. Add interfacing only on 1/2 of the waist. Fold and press 1 cm inwards on both sides. Sew the ends of the waist at 1 cm seam allowance. Clip the corners so when you turn over it will look neater. Mark 1.5 cm on both ends. Match with the opening of the skirt, leaving the 1.5 cm part. Pin and sew all around. Fill the waist 1 cm and cover the raw edge. Press and top stitch. For the hem, fold twice, in total 2 cm. Here you should place the button and buttonholes. And the skirts are finished. This is how they look like. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.